Hello! We are so excited to show you our native speech capabilities. Welcome back to the English journey. Today, we are starting a beautiful adventure together, a 30-day challenge to help you stop translating in your head and start thinking directly in English. My name is Anna, and I am here to hold your hand and guide you through this easy daily path to fluency.
And I am Abel. I'm so glad to be here with you, Anna. For a long time, every time I wanted to say a simple sentence, my brain had to look up every single word like a heavy dictionary. It made me feel so tired and slow. Today, we want to share a simple 30-day plan that will help you change your brain habits and speak with ease.
That is a perfect way to describe it, Abel. A heavy dictionary. I love that description because it is so true. When you're learning English, your brain does something very natural. It goes to your first language first. It takes the word in your language, finds the English word, and then puts the sentence together. This process takes a long time. And when you're in a real conversation, there's no time. The other person is already waiting. You feel stressed. Your mouth does not move. You freeze.
Yes, that feeling of freezing. I know it so well, Anna. Someone asks me a simple question like, "What do you do?" And I know the answer. I know it in my own language perfectly, but my brain starts working so hard to translate every little piece. By the time I find the words, the moment is gone. I feel embarrassed. I feel slow.
And you are not slow, Abel. Your brain is just using the wrong road. Imagine you are driving from your home to a supermarket. You know one road. You always use that one road. But one day, someone shows you a shorter, faster road. At first, the new road feels strange. You're not sure about it. But after 30 days of using the new road every single day, it becomes easy and natural. That is exactly what we are doing in this challenge. We are building a new road in your brain, a direct road from thought to English.
I really like that picture, Anna. A new road in the brain. So we're not trying to remove the old road, right? We're just building a new one.
Exactly right. We are not removing anything. We are adding something beautiful and new. The old road, your first language, will always be there. We are simply creating a shortcut, a direct path. English to thought, thought to English. No translation needed. And the best news is, you do not need hours every day to build this new road. You only need 5 minutes, 5 small, focused minutes every single day for 30 days.
5 minutes. That sounds very manageable. I was afraid you would say 2 hours of study every day. That always makes me feel tired before I even start.
I completely understand that feeling. 2 hours feels like a mountain. 5 minutes feels like a small step. And small steps are exactly how we build something big and strong. Think about building a house. You don't put all the bricks down in one day. You place one brick, then another, then another. Every day, one more brick. After 30 days, you have a strong, beautiful wall. After 30 more days, you have a room. This is how fluency works. It's not a magical jump. It's a collection of small, consistent habits.
I love that idea. One brick every day. So Anna, can you explain the first step, the first week? What exactly do we do in days 1 to 7?
Of course, week 1 is the most important week because it sets the foundation. The foundation is the base of the house. Without a good foundation, nothing else stands. In week 1, from day 1 to day 7, we practice something called noun labeling. The word noun means a name word, a name for a thing, a place, or a person. Labeling means giving something its name. So noun labeling simply means looking at the things around you and saying their English name directly in your mind.
So, for example, I look at my chair and I just think chair. Not my word for chair, just the English word chair.
Perfectly said, Abel. Exactly that. You look at the chair and you think chair. You look at the table and you think table. You look at the window and you think window. You look at the apple on the table and you think apple. You don't translate. You don't go through your own language first. You see the object and the English word appears directly, like a sticker on the object.
Like a sticker. That's a very good picture. So, how do we start if we don't know the English word for something?
That's a wonderful question, and it's very easy to solve. If you see an object and you don't know its English name, you simply look it up one time. You find the word, you say it out loud 2 or 3 times slowly, and then you stick that word to the object in your mind. From that moment, every time you see that object, you think the English word, not your word, the English word. Day 1, you might label 10 objects in your room. Day 2, you add 5 more. By day 7, every object in your home has an English label in your mind.
This sounds very simple, but also very powerful. I'm thinking about my kitchen right now. I can see the pot, the cup, the spoon, the door, the floor. All of these things can have English labels.
Yes, all of them. The pot, the cup, the spoon, the door, the floor, the wall, the ceiling, the light, the glass, the sink, the plate, the knife, the fork. Your kitchen alone has maybe 30 or 40 nouns you can practice. And you spend a lot of time in your kitchen every day. Every time you enter the kitchen this week, your brain is quietly practicing English without any effort, without opening a book, without sitting at a desk, just living your normal life with English labels on everything.
So the practice happens during my normal daily activities. I don't need to stop what I'm doing and study. I just add the English thinking to what I already do.
Perfectly understood, Abel. This is the secret heart of this entire challenge. You are not adding a heavy study session to your day. You are layering English thinking on top of your normal activities. When you brush your teeth, you think brush, teeth, mirror, water. When you make coffee, you think cup, coffee, hot, water, spoon. When you open the window, you think window, open, air, morning. English becomes part of your normal moments, not a separate heavy task.
This is already making me feel less stressed. Okay, so after 2 weeks of labeling and reacting, what's the next step? Week 3, days 15 to 21.
Week 3 is where many people feel a real change happening. This is the week that feels exciting. In week 3, we move from single words to short sentences. Very short, very simple. 3 words, just 3 words. We call this the self-talk narrative. Narrative means a little story, and this is the story of your own day, told in tiny 3-word pieces inside your head.
3-word sentences. Can you show me what that looks like? Because I want to make sure I understand before I try it myself.
Absolutely. Let me walk you through it very gently. You wake up in the morning. You reach out and turn off your alarm. In your mind, you think, I wake up. You stand up from the bed. You think, I stand up. You walk to the bathroom. You think, I walk now. You turn on the tap. You think, I open water. You wash your hands. You think, I wash hands. You look in the mirror. You think, I see me. Every small action has a tiny English sentence attached to it. 3 words, simple, clear, real.
Oh, this is so interesting, because I actually tried something like this already. You mentioned cooking breakfast earlier, and I remember one morning I was making eggs. I looked at the pan and I thought, I heat pan. Then I cracked the egg and thought, I break egg. Then I put the egg in the pan and thought, I cook egg. It felt a little strange at first, like I was narrating a movie, but after a few minutes, it felt really natural and even fun.
Well, that is a perfect example of exactly what week 3 looks like. And I love that you said it felt like narrating a movie. That is a wonderful way to think about it. You are the narrator of your own life movie, and the movie is in English. The language of your life story is slowly, gently, day by day, becoming English. And notice what you did not do. You did not worry about grammar. You did not say, I am heating the pan. You simply said, I heat pan. And that is completely perfect for week 3. The grammar will come later. Right now, we are only building the habit of English thinking.
That brings me to something I was a little worried about. What about mistakes? I make a lot of grammar mistakes. I say things in the wrong order sometimes. I use the wrong word. Does that hurt my progress?
This is one of the most important things we will talk about today, and I am so glad you asked. Mistakes are not the enemy. Mistakes are the road itself. Let me say that again because it is so important. Mistakes are not the enemy. Mistakes are the road itself. When a small child learns to walk, they fall down many times, every single day. But we do not say the child is failing. We say the child is learning. The falling is part of the walking. In the same way, your grammar mistakes are part of your English journey.
But sometimes when I make a mistake, I feel so embarrassed. I feel like people are judging me. And then I stop speaking completely.
I hear you, Abel. That embarrassment is one of the biggest walls between learners and fluency. But here's something very important to understand. Inside this challenge, the self-talk narrative in week 3 is private. It's inside your head. Nobody hears it. Nobody judges it. You are practicing in the safest place in the world, which is your own mind. So in week 3, your tiny mistakes have zero cost. You can say, I cook egg instead of I am cooking an egg, and nothing bad happens. The only thing that happens is your brain gets a little more practice, a little more comfortable, a little stronger.
So the inside the head practice is like a safe training room, a place where I can make mistakes freely and just keep going.
Exactly. A safe training room. I love that. And just like an athlete who trains in a quiet gym before a big game, your private English thinking is your quiet training room. After 30 days of training in that room, when you need to speak English out loud in a real situation, your brain is ready. It is practiced enough that the words come more naturally. Not perfectly, but more naturally. And more naturally is all we're looking for.
Okay, so we've labeled nouns in week 1, practiced one-word reactions in week 2, and started 3-word self-talk in week 3. What's the final week, days 22 to 30?
The final week is my personal favorite because it is so gentle and so powerful at the same time. We call it the evening review. Every evening before you go to sleep, you sit quietly for just 2 minutes, 2 minutes only. And in those 2 minutes, you think of 3 simple things you did during the day. You describe each thing using one simple English sentence.
Like a small diary in my head, but in English?
Exactly, like a small English diary in your mind. For example, at the end of the day, you sit quietly and you think, today I made coffee. Then you think, today I walked outside. Then you think, today I spoke with my friend. 3 sentences, 3 memories, 3 small English thoughts. That's all. 2 minutes, 3 sentences, and then you sleep.
That sounds so peaceful and so easy. But I want to understand why this is important. Why does reviewing the day in English help us think in English?
Such a great question. Here's the reason. When you review your day, you're connecting English words to real memories, real feelings, real experiences. Your brain does not store language like a filing cabinet. Your brain stores language connected to experiences, connected to feelings and smells and sounds and moments. So when you think, today I made coffee, your brain connects the English words to the warm feeling of the cup, the smell of the coffee, the sound of the water boiling. English stops being a school subject and starts becoming a lived experience.
Oh, that is beautiful. English connected to real moments. So English stops living in the dictionary and starts living in my memories.
Perfectly said. English starts living in your memories. And once language lives in your memories, it becomes yours, truly yours. Not borrowed from a textbook, not copied from a grammar rule. Yours, personal, natural. And that is when people around you start to notice a change. Your answers come a little faster, your sentences feel a little smoother, you pause a little less, you smile a little more when someone speaks to you in English, because the fear is smaller now.
I am already feeling less afraid just hearing about this plan. But Anna, I want to go back to something you said earlier, the 5-minute promise. You said 5 minutes every day changes the brain. Can you explain that a little more? Because 5 minutes still feels very short.
Yes, let us talk about this very carefully because it is the key that unlocks everything. Many people believe that learning a language takes long, intense study sessions. They believe they need to sit for 2 hours with a grammar book and memorize hundreds of words. And then, when they cannot do that, they skip the day. Then they skip 2 days. Then a week passes, and the habit breaks.
That is exactly what happens to me. I try to do too much at once and then I give up completely. And then I feel guilty, and the guilt makes it even harder to start again.
And that cycle, the big effort followed by giving up, followed by guilt, is so common and so painful. But here's the truth that changes everything. Your brain does not care about intensity as much as it cares about consistency. Consistency means doing something regularly, again and again. 5 minutes every single day for 30 days is better, much better than 3 hours once a week. The brain builds habits through repetition, through showing up every day, even for a short time, even for just 5 quiet minutes.
So it is better to do a little bit every day than to do a lot once in a while.
Yes, 100%. Think about watering a plant. If you water a plant a tiny bit every day, it grows strong and healthy. If you pour a huge amount of water once a week and then forget about it, the plant gets confused. It gets too much and then too little. The brain is the same. Small, regular practice is like daily water for your English plant. It keeps growing quietly, steadily, even on the days when you do not feel the growth happening.
I love that. The English plant growing every day with small daily water. So even on a hard day, even on a day when I feel tired or busy, I should still do my 5 minutes?
Especially on those days, because those are the days when the habit becomes real. When it's easy to practice, it's not really a habit yet. It's just something fun you do when you feel like it. But when you're tired, when your day was hard, when you don't feel motivated, and you still sit down for 5 minutes and think your 3 English sentences before bed, that is when the habit is truly building itself into your brain. That is when you're truly changing.
That is really motivating, Anna. I think the most important thing I'm hearing is that this challenge is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent, showing up every day in a small way.
That is the whole heart of this journey. Consistency over perfection. Always. A perfect student who studies intensely for 1 week and then stops will always grow slower than a consistent student who does a little every single day. And I want to say something very important directly to every person listening today. You do not have to be perfect at English to start thinking in English. You just have to start. Start with one noun. Start with one reaction. Start with one 3-word sentence. Start tonight with one memory of your day. Just start.
And if you miss a day, if one day the challenge falls apart and you don't do your 5 minutes,
You simply start again the next day, with no guilt, with no harsh words to yourself. You simply open the door of the next day and walk in. The challenge does not end because of one missed day. The road is still there. The plant is still alive. You just pick up the watering can and continue. Missing one day does not break the habit. Giving up after missing one day breaks the habit. So we never give up. We just continue.
that I needed to hear so much. The permission to miss a day and still continue. That removes so much pressure. I think a lot of learners feel like if they break the streak, everything is ruined, but it's not.
It is absolutely not ruined, not even close. And here's a beautiful truth. After 30 days of this gentle, consistent practice, many learners report something wonderful happening. They're sitting somewhere, maybe on a bus, maybe in their kitchen, maybe just looking out the window, and a simple English thought appears in their mind, completely on its own, without any effort, without any translation, just a natural English thought floating quietly in their mind.
That moment, that small and quiet moment, is the beginning of thinking in English.
That sounds like such a special moment. I want to experience that. Just a natural English thought appearing without any work. And you will experience it, Abel. Everyone who follows this path with patience and consistency reaches that moment. It might happen on day 18. It might happen on day 25. It might happen on day 31. But it will come because you are building something real, Day by day, noun by noun, reaction by reaction, sentence by sentence, memory by memory. You are building the house of your English fluency, and every single day of this challenge is one brick in that house.
One brick every day, 30 days, 30 bricks. And at the end, you have the beginning of something strong, something that belongs to you. I feel ready to start today, right now. I want to look around and label everything I see in English.
Then start right now. Look at your room. Name what you see. Chair, table, light, wall, door, glass, book, phone, screen. Every one of those words is a brick. Every time you think that word in English before your own language, you are building your road. You are growing your plant. You are adding to your house. And you're not alone on this journey. We are walking this road with you every step of the way.
30 days feels very possible now. It felt impossible before today, but now, thinking about it as 5 minutes and one brick and one small daily habit, it feels like something I can really do, something real and achievable.
That feeling, that sense of possibility, is itself the first step. You have already taken it. And to everyone listening today, remember that fluency is not a mountain you climb in one day. Fluency is a house you build one small, consistent, loving brick at a time. And every single day you show up and place your brick is a day your English grows stronger than it was yesterday.
And that's the most important thing any of us can do on this journey. Simply show up, do the small thing, trust the process, and let the English thinking grow quietly and naturally inside us, one beautiful day at a time.